become the person you've always needed. Now, I know that's easier said than done, and I find the struggles for myself in everyday life as I try to conceptualize this and then actually apply it to my own life. And ultimately, something that I've grasped on as to being the truth is making sure that I'm led by the Spirit and not mishandled by the fear. Because ultimately, I have to, and I think we both have to understand that all of the answers are found within. All the answers that we've been seeking when we try to seek validation, or when we try to seek any external reward from the only things that can be given to us by ourselves. And ultimately, I believe it's important that we become a friend to self, right? I think the only way that you can become the person that you've always needed is to become a friend of yourself, because it takes you and you. It's not you versus the world. It's not you versus you. It's just you and you. Because when you're on your side, there is no other competition. When you're your own helping hand, then there is no other competition. When you decide that all of the success, all of the goals that I want to achieve, anything that I want to excel in, doesn't even really matter what it is. Anything that you want to excel in, it always takes you. It takes you to believe in you. It takes you to get up every day. It takes you to put the work in. It takes you to press the record button. It takes you to have the confidence to get on camera. It will always take you no matter what it is. And so it's remembering that if you don't take the step forward, then there will be no progression. And I find often that we suffer more than necessary because we suffer before it's necessary. We take ourselves out of the fight before we even step into the ring. We've already forfeited before we even know what a punch feels like. We've already quit before preparation. Why is that? A lot of times it's because we told ourselves that we would fail, not because there's any evidence that we failed in this area before, or that we could even possibly fail, but it's because we've already told ourselves that success is impossible for us. Instead of telling ourselves that success is inevitable if I don't quit, we've told ourselves and we've convinced ourselves that success is not in our cards. Success is just something that is not possible for us. We've allowed fear to mishandle us. Instead of being led by the Spirit, we have allowed fear to dictate how we move. Now the fear is beginning to crush our faith. And it's simply because we haven't been kind to ourselves. It's very important to be intentional with the way that you speak to yourself, because you're always listening. It's important to train your consciousness, because your consciousness will also be affecting your subconscious behavior. So if you're mishandling your own self, if you can't speak positively, if you don't speak positively to yourself, if you're not, and I'm not saying that you have to wake up in the morning and have these positive affirmations, like speak into the mirror and say that you're worth it. But if that's what is required, then the work is, whatever you must be required, the work is required, right? I'm not saying that that's necessarily what's necessary, if you will. But what I'm saying is you have to believe that you already are valuable. You have to believe that you already are. And I'm not trying to say this as if I'm trying to convince you. More so saying this to remind you that you are, that you're valuable before you do anything. And so it's important to, even how we speak, to say like once I get a haircut, I'm gonna look even better. Once I get this job, or once I get another client, I will be even more successful. Not, oh, I will be worth something once I get a haircut, or I will be, you know what I mean? Or I'll become successful once I get a certain amount of, no, you already are valuable. You already are who you need to be. The only thing that separates you from the person that you want to be is the 6 inches between your ears. It's how you think. It's your mindset. And this isn't a mindset kind of transformational renewal thing. It's more so just getting you to understand that you've always been enough. Getting you to realize that it's always been within you. And when I talk about fears, I speak on it a lot, even in my personal conversations, because it helps me, because fear and lack of confidence was something that I suffered from. It is not to say that I've completely conquered it. I feel like there's always room to grow, and that you're constantly always progressing within yourself internally. And I feel like that's a great thing, because he who believes that the journey is over has already lost. But when in the terms of fear, he who overcomes his fears will truly be free. He who overcomes his fears will truly be free. Not being misled by the fear, not being mishandled by the fear, not being mistreated by the fear. The Bible tells us so many times, God reminds us, do not be afraid. I feel like it's so intentional. I feel like everything that God has done in our lives have been so intentional, regardless if you believe in God or however you've come to this video right now. I feel like this is just important for you to understand that fear is just a concept. It's just conceptual. It's something that you've told yourself could happen without any evidence of it actually happening. It's something that you've tricked yourself into believing was possible when there's no evidence that it is possible. We've mistreated ourselves. We've been unkind to ourselves. We haven't been a friend to ourselves. And I've been working on changing that. And hopefully this video kind of helps you start working on changing that for yourself too. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna fall. At the end of the day, you're gonna fail. And whatever that looks like for you, right? I just saw one of my friends, but whatever that looks like is gonna happen. Fall if you must fall. Fall if you must fall. Because the person that you're becoming will catch you. Fall if you must fall. It's necessary. Right? The Bible says fall 7, get up 8. It's fine. If you fall, fall. But if you do fall, try to land on your back. Because if you can look up, then you can get up. I've just been coming to understand that patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. So yes, you're going through this process. Yes, it's not easy, but majority of it is because you haven't been a friend to yourself, right? You've been rushing yourself to meet expectations instead of just doing the expression for the expression's sake. For example, it was hard for me I knew that I wanted to do this, but it was hard for me to actually be willing to do this because of the looming expectations of even the fear of how would this be consumed? How would it be perceived? As if my value was determined by somebody else's opinion of me. As if my value was determined of somebody else's opinion. As if your art is determined by somebody else's opinion. It's free expression. Express yourself. Don't allow your expectations to crush your expression. And what I mean by that is a lot of things that we do, we've told ourselves that the only value we have is found externally instead of internally. Instead of being willing to do the thing simply because you love to do the thing. Not needing an external reward for why you do it. Not needing external validation for why you do it. Like, it's okay, and I know that we all want to be loved, right? I know that we all want to be, in a way, praised for what we do. We all want it to be perceived and represented, and we all want it to want to be liked. And so it causes us to look outside of ourselves because we don't feel that way. We don't give ourselves that value. So we begin to look at others who we deem valuable and we begin to imitate. But what if God got the glory because you presented as you? What if God gets the glory if you just show up as you? What if God gets the glory if you just step up and step out and show up and show out in your full expression? Not caring what anybody else says, not caring about how anybody else perceives what you do. Just being willing to do it, just being willing to express yourself, just being willing to be fully you. But there's a part of a poem that I'm working on, and it's all about being willing to express who you are. Don't be afraid to be you. If it's starting the class, start the ministry, write the poem, tell your story, make the content, whatever it is, do the thing. Don't be afraid to be who you fully are. Don't be afraid to be who God has created you to be. God can bless who he's intended you to be, but he won't bless who you're pretending to be, because it was never in his plan for you to be somebody else. We're created distinctly and uniquely. We're created fearfully and wonderfully. We all have nobody else has the same fingerprints that you have. And I'm saying this to encourage you to be you. I'm saying this to encourage you to be the person that you've always needed, to be your own superhero, to save yourself. The Bible says that faith without works is dead. Letting us know that it requires the work. Whatever the work is, whatever is required, let the work be done. Believe in yourself. Take initiative in your own life. Understand that you determine how your story is going to be written. Understand that it always takes you. It always takes you. Become the person you've always needed. And how do we do that? By becoming a friend to self. And if you made it this far in the video, I'm extremely thankful. I'm extremely thankful, because it's choice, not chance, that determines your destiny. And I'm extremely thankful for you watching this video. I'm extremely thankful for just all the support that I've been getting. I'm extremely thankful for what God has been doing in my life. And I'm just extremely thankful for it all, honestly. This is just this is my expression. And hopefully this video helped you. And if it didn't, it helped me. And so I'm thankful for just being willing to walk in the ways that God is leading me. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.